Okay, so guys, welcome to another video. This video is going to be different from the other ones, and I know I've said it a lot of times. This is a benchmark video of a sort. Got a 1080 Ti, as you can see here, Gigabyte GTX 1080 Ti OC edition, which has the graphics processor named GP102, GP for the Pascal series, 3584 kilocores, 88 ROPS, 11 gigabytes of VRAM, which is DDR5X, a 352-bit bus, which is a wider bus than most cards today. It released back in 2017. It has a bandwidth of 284.4 gigabytes per second. It has 11.8 million transistors. It's rated at 250 watts, and yes, this is power hungry back then. Talk about that now. It's actually very not much the opposite. It has a 6-pin and an 8-pin power connector. It supports the feature level DirectX 12.1 and OpenGL 4.6, Vulkan 1.3. It supports the latest NVIDIA drivers, which on Linux are the 535 drivers. Alright, so guys, now it's time to put the card into the system. So the system consists of 4 hard drives, of which 2 are being used, one of which is a 8 terabyte hard drive, and another one is a 500 gigabyte hard drive. We've got the case, which is a GZX2. We've got a power supply, which is a Thermaltake 700 watt Smart Edition. Got another GPU, which is a 1030, which is used as a secondary, and we've got the CPU cooler, which is an HT15, and we've got an X299, X99 Deluxe, and we've got a CPU, which is a 6950X. Sorry. So let's just make sure this fits in. There we go. Let's just focus it here, and it's not focusing properly, and it's not fitting for some reason. There's cables stuck in the middle. I'll just snap it through. No need to break anything. I mean, it's new. I don't want to break anything. It's not new. It's used. Bought it for £120. And let's see. Alright, so it fit in right there perfectly, and we're just gonna have to put in the screws now. There we go, that's a lower screw here. Let me just put it in, come on. There we go. Where's the screwdriver, come on. There we go, that's it, there we go. Let's just screw it in, right, just like so. And let's put another screw in. See, come on. Go in there, please. Alright, that's it. Okay. Screwing that into, and now all we need to do is put the power connector in. So that's as I told you before, that's an 8-pin and a 6-pin power connector. Let's just put it in quickly. That's honestly this NHD. This is the whole system here. Make sure you take a good. Powering the system on. Okay, let's see if it boots. Come on. It's not focusing properly on the black screen. There we go. It booted. This is my setup, by the way. Comment down below if you like it. I used to have 3 screens, now it's 2, but yeah. I think that's enough for me. Okay, there we go. It's booted into Linux now. Let's see if it boots into the GUI. Come on. There we go. Got the mouse already, and that's the login screen. So guys, now as we're booting into the system, and this is Ubuntu, actually it's customized by me. I like to call it AlexOS, but I mean, if you guys think it's not supposed to be called that, tell me, okay? Comment that below. But yeah, we've got Linux here, and now let's test some games because I've got some things preloaded here, and apparently now today's the 28th, and for some reason I've seen news about this, and Counter-Strike 2 apparently is out and is now downloading, so I can't test CS:GO, but I'll add what is it called? Quake Champions to go for it. Although I've already got some footage of the GPU running CS2. Yeah, let's just launch a game and let's continue. Let's see what we have. So Quake, let's launch Quake here. Where's Quake? Okay.
Fight. Lead taken. Teams are tied. Lead taken. Incoming quad. Quad spawn. Enemy has the quad. Teams are tied. Lead taken. Denied. Teams are tied. Lead taken. Teams are tied. Lead taken. Lead lost from the grave.
Alright, so now let's go for GTA 5 after Quake, because like, I mean, GTA 5 is one of the most played games on Steam or something like that. At least in the corners of that. I mean, to be exact, I don't really know. I think it's CSGO, but as CSGO is updating, I don't think a lot of people um, have access to that update right now. So yeah, it's quite a large update for you to know. It's like 30 gigabytes or something, 27 point something. Okay guys, so we've got GTA open here, and we're now in the settings menu. You can see the frame time counter here with DXVK, so that's the DirectX translated into a Vulkan. We've got the CPU usages here, we've got the milliseconds of the frames basically, and let's go check the display settings. So basically we've got graphics settings here, we've got DirectX 11, of course it's being translated into Vulkan, and then we've got full screen, which I don't recommend windowed borderless. I mean, I didn't recommend that on Windows, but I think it will be the same here as well. But still, don't quote me on that. That's 1080p here because that's the highest resolution my monitor can go. I'll try resolution scaling later. We've got 16:9 here, 75% I mean 75 Hertz monitor, basically FXA on, MSA 8 times, so this is the highest setting. And we've got VSync off because who needs VSync? We've got pause. Oh yeah, talking about VSync, you don't need it at all on Linux, especially when you're running NVIDIA, and especially if you're running Xorg or X11. It's gonna crash your FPS. It's gonna crash your basically anything, input latency, whatever you think of. It's gonna be the worst experience ever. Basically, okay, in-game pause lost, okay, population density, these are rather like CPU intensive, but still, the CPU, I told you, it's pretty strong, it can handle a lot. We've got very high for textures, shaders, very high, of course, very high basically. We've got the highest settings, NVIDIA PCSS. Now I think this wouldn't have worked, I don't know exactly what it is, but it does work. I actually tried it before, and PostFX is on normal as it introduces motion blur, which I hate. We've got anisotropic filtering, we've got ambient occlusion, tessellation, and that's it for that. And we've got the advanced settings turned off because these are mainly CPU intensive, and especially these, like, they're not really that cool. If you turn them on, you're gonna notice what I mean. But yeah, you can't just tell. It's just gonna be pretty bad. Just believe me, it's not gonna work properly. Okay, so guys, today we're starting the run from here, from Chris' house. I mean, not Chris' house. Chris' benchmark. Basically, we're doing the same thing, just so we can compare it to his, and credits go to him. It's actually a nice benchmark to do in this game. And apparently we've got 71% of the usage of a GPU, which at 8x MSAA is actually very, very impressive. I did underestimate this GPU actually. My CPU needs an upgrade. Oh yeah, it could have been. It's good that I'm trying to upgrade this thing after all. But still, it's good to see that it's not maxed out, so it won't get that hot. And yeah, I can see why Chris is driving pretty badly when he plays this game, because it's honestly very hard to like concentrate on what you're talking about and meanwhile like drive fast. So I've got 80%. I could have sworn I've seen 90% usage, but it's not happening anymore. It's in the 70s. It's not doing anything. Oh no, this car is broken. Also, it's a croquette, so I'm literally stealing the whole thing from Chris. Right, so apparently, according to Chris, this is the least demanding part right here. Right here is going to be the least demanding part. 86 FPS, yeah, it's the least demanding. He is correct. I mean, Crisp is a successful YouTuber in terms of benchmarking. Not like me, I've got 79 subscribers, what am I talking about? But still, hey, hell yeah, is his benchmark very good. I mean, we're gonna get pretty intensive grass here shortly. Just get into another car. There we go. So also this is nighttime. According to him, I think it's more demanding in at nighttime, but that goes to show how weak the CPU is. Okay, we've got 93% right there. Okay. By the way, we're going to check out the temps afterwards. Got 30% CPU usage. Apparently, the cores don't really matter. I just need faster cores, but this 6950X does have a lot of cores, but has a single 4 GHz core. So that's the lowest I've got. It was like somewhere near 50, I think. Yeah, so that's GTA 5. Let's move on to another game. So next up, GTA 4, and as you can see, I've passed the story mode here, and remember that fact that GTA 4 stutters a lot, everywhere basically. Now, when it comes to Linux, GTA 4 does not stutter. Why? Because if you don't want it to stutter, even on Windows, you're gonna want to try DXVK. So by default, Linux runs it with DX. Okay, we've got 600 FPS in the menu. Very nice. So let's go over the settings. I mean, display settings. There's not something very important here. I don't know why it's on 70, but 70. Was it 50? Yeah, 50 hertz. But still, now there we go. We've got 75 hertz here, 16 by 9 high texture quality. There's nothing higher than high, so very high. The reflection water quality is on very high. Got shadow quality on very high as well. Night texture shadows on very high. Got texture filter quality at 16x. View distance at maximum. Detail distance at maximum. Vehicle density at maximum. These are CPU intensive, by the way. Definition on and VSync, we don't need that. So yeah, so that's it. Okay, so this is the benchmark test here. And apparently, yes, it does bottleneck it. To be expected, honestly. So after the benchmark, we've got an average FPS of 64. Quite playable. CPU usage average, I think 26%. System memory usage 35. I mean, remember this is 40 gigs of RAM, and we've got a lot of background tasks enabled. We've got 1080p here, and I mean settings here. Got the 1080 Ti pulse audio here, and Windows 10 Pro apparently, it's not Windows 10 Pro, honestly. File ID, and that's the benchmark CLI. That's the benchmark here. And now, when it comes to Linux gaming, I'd say a lot of things can be run. The most important thing to consider, think about, is if you want to play games on Linux, the most important thing to consider is compatibility, and most importantly, the lack thereof compatibility. Usually, actually, at least. For example, Need for Speed Undercover. I wanted to complete the game after I started it on Windows. Well, program nfs.exe has encountered a serious problem and needs to close. We are sorry for the inconvenience, which is very bad. Application database. Well, apparently, let's go see the speed. That's Need for Speed Undercover, and I mean, this is the disc DVD version installed here, and it's apparently silver, which apparently works, but it does not, because it's not there. You can't customize it. So yeah, Need for Speed does not launch, in fact. I mean, Porsche does. I'm not going to show you that because that's pretty old, and you know that it will run. We've got Underground 2 that launches. Unreal Tournament, it did launch. I mean, Linux, it's got native Linux, so why shouldn't it launch? We've got GTA, San Andreas, and Vice City, both of them launch. Non-Linux, but on Steam. We've got Age of Empires 2 that launched. Age of History 2, as it's Java based, it runs on basically anything. Hearts of Iron 4, it does launch. This is native, so pretty nice. We've got Walking Dead here. I mean, both of them launch, very nice. When it comes to games that actually launch and have problems, welcome to Assassin's Creed 1. So I've got the disc here, like the disc combo of 3 discs actually of Prince of Persia, basically a Ubisoft collection. For I got that for 20 euros from the Netherlands. But you'll see just in a second it does not work at all. So you'd see here it's pretty smooth. Yeah, it's quite smooth here, like here too. But it's gonna get pretty bad pretty fast. So yeah, get ready. So it's fast here, like it's running. But when we get here, like notice that it's not lagging when we look at the ground or the sky. But when we look at the city, and this is a 1080 Ti, keep in mind. And I've tried different graphics cards, it does not fix it. Different driver versions, different wine versions. Just look at this. This is a 1080 Ti, it's not working properly. What is going on? I think it's due to some particles, like for example this. This is a particle that usually you'd see if the memory is not accessed. I mean, this guy's genetic memory, that's what we're accessing now. I mean, that's the only problem. I think it's like smoke effects, but I can't really conclude because I've never actually seen it doing anything like adequately, because everything else, like when there's nothing on the screen and when the value of something, it does not lag at all, or if I'm looking at the sea. But judging from the fact that this whole game is based on the city, it's going to be very bad of an experience if you're going to be getting this low of an FPS in a city, which means I'd recommend you not to play this unless we have a fix for it. I mean, there has got to be a fix, because I've seen this guy on the internet and he said he had a fix for it, but then he does not remember the fix. So that's a bummer, actually. It's actually very bad that he doesn't know. He had to document it, but in his Reddit thread, he said I fixed it, but he'd never added how he fixed it, so no one would know afterwards. And he had the exact problem as me, so basically we're lost with Assassin's Creed for now, at least. But I'll still play it. Like, I mean, you can always play it from another angle, as much as it ruins the experience. But I've got used to 30 FPS, and that's not something you get used to. I mean, it's not even 30. Like, it's at least 15, at most 15 FPS, and it's super bad. That's exactly what makes it bad. Like, look at the whole city from this side. It's not too bad, actually. I think there's a render distance of this object that's rendering here we're not understanding yet. But see, like for example, if you look at the sea, it's quite normal, and by normal I mean like at least 30 FPS. but this should not be happening. It's unacceptable, and if you did buy it from Steam, I don't think this will happen there, but if it does happen, I'd recommend you to get a refund. For example, here, if we look at C, it's pretty good, but once we look at the city, it's like, it's chugging. It's got a lot of input latency. It's so bad. Yeah. So I hope they find a way. Maybe I'll find a way. If I do, I'll add it in the comments, because I honestly enjoy this game, and I think everyone should enjoy this game. And yeah, that's it with this. Alright, so guys, this is Minecraft's Java edition here, 1.20.1, and let's get into some world. Okay, so guys, this is Minecraft here, running at anywhere from 19, like with a 1% lows, to 255 FPS. It's going to be a CPU bottleneck from what I know, from what we've seen. Let's just increase the render chunks. There we go, that should be better. Now it's even more of a CPU bottleneck. It's not that bad, honestly. I think it's due to Linux. I don't know, I can't tell, but it's not really stuttering all that bad. It does stutter, but like we're loading a lot of stuff now. Let's get into this jungle biome. See what happens. I mean, there's a lot of stutter. I can feel it in my in the movement, especially here. Let's just go down to, like, this is an abomination of a number here, but yeah, the other one was 2. So now we've got anywhere from 200 FPS. Yeah, it's stabilized now. Yeah, so it's around 200 FPS here. I usually leave it at like 12 or 13 chunks, because I find that the best out of all of them. So it does not lag at all with this render distance applied. So yeah. So let's continue. Let's see what we can do here. I mean, we can unlock the FPS, but that's not going to really do anything. We can go add some shaders. Complementary here. Okay, so guys, this is complementary shaders here, and we're getting around 60 to 70 FPS. As you can see, this shader looks as though they have some kind of upscaling or like TAA enabled. I can see a lot of shimmering stuff like that, but it's quite intensive. But the 1080 Ti can do it. On Linux it can, so I don't know how it performs on Windows, but if it does better, tell me in the comments, because I've never tried this. I mean, I've never tried 1080 Ti with on Windows, so if you go watch Crisp's video, that will show you more about that, how it runs. And I do feel the lag. It's kind of like it's kind of heavy, like the moving is kind of heavy, but yeah, it's still pretty beautiful. So look at the water here, for example. It's pretty beautiful. So I'd see people playing like this. Oh yeah, it's super cool. Yeah, it's honestly astonishing. It's very cool. This shader is very cool. But also, yeah, one of the drawbacks here, and with almost all of the Minecraft shaders, is that they don't have RTX or ray tracing. So if you look, if the objects are not visible, they lose their reflection. So that's a caveat, and honestly, it's a caveat I'm willing to take. I mean, it just looks beautiful. I mean, there's nothing that can get it more beautiful than it. I think there is, but it's quite cool. Yeah, so see, there's god rays here and stuff like that. For example, here. Actually, they're only in the water, so okay, kind of lied there. But the water looks kind of cool too. Like the lighting is honestly very cool. Got drowns here with yeah. So basically that's it with this shader. And let's try another shader. For example, Lite Optimized. Let's see, it should be lighter. Oh, okay. Is this supposed to happen? Or am I going crazy? Why is this? What is this? Why is the water like this? I think this is mainly to play like competitively. But they could have made better water. At least leave it as so. What is going on? Okay, this is actually bad. I think this is like for bed wars and stuff like that. But yeah, it runs a little bit better. Like, actually, no, it does run better. It runs like 20 FPS to 40 FPS better than complementary. But I choose complementary over this, even if it's going to be competitive, because this looks way worse, and the hit on visuals is actually kind of high. That's not that good, but here's the GPU benchmark. This is what we're coming for. I mean, this is pretty fast. I've seen a lot of GPUs that do very bad in this one. Yeah, it's basically 11.524.76. Very nice temperatures here of the card. So it was running for about 30 minutes here, and we've got a maximum of 79, though it was on 69 when we came out of there. The CPU is not really doing much, so it's not very hot. By the way, keep in mind that it's quite hot outside now, and it was running at 100%, I think, in Minecraft especially. So yeah, ladies, guys, it's time to end the video here, and I hope you enjoy this. Tell me if you like kind of content like this, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.